Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard and these are short video snippets designed to answer questions you may have about estate planning or probate. And forgive me if I sound a little raspy. I've been sick for going on a week and a half now, so it's on its tail end of whatever it is that infiltrated my body. But I'm still a little stuffy, but I wanted to get a quick Wednesday wisdom out to you today, just to talk about, while we typically talk about estate planning or probate, since we are in the midst of tax season. My favorite time of year? Maybe. But I wanted to bring up an annual list that the IRS publishes called Its Dirty Dozen. And this is where it basically talks about the scams that are prevalent for this season. And a lot of times, some of these are the same year after year. They just get a little more sophisticated in the scamming techniques. But I just want to make you aware, for those of you who aren't, make you aware of these things that are could potentially affect you and your household. So the first one is always someone calling or emailing or texting you impersonating the IRS. Scammers send all kinds of messages. They spoof their phone numbers or email addresses to almost look like they're official, but they're really not. You really just need to pay attention to the fine print. And one of the main things that gives this away is that I want to take my time. The IRS does not typically call taxpayers. There may be follow-up calls after an initial contact via a letter, and then you're assigned an agent if there's an ongoing case that needs to be worked on. But as a regular course of business, they don't call or text. So if you get something like that, just ignore it. Don't respond, and please don't give any of your personal identification information out. And if it's via email, don't click on any links or anything that doesn't look familiar or doesn't look official. Another thing that really irks me personally is fake charities. And you see these contacts or these advertisements or these solicitations come up a lot when there are, unfortunately, natural disasters going on in a particular area or across the United States. And that's when the scammers really get to scamming. So again, you always want to check the original source if you have anything that comes to you unsolicited, to check and verify. And one other thing I want to just briefly touch on, and I'll leave the link for all of these Dirty Dozen items in the description box below. But the last one I want to talk about today, misleading tax advice on social media. Yes, this is social media that I'm using to communicate with you, but I'm not trying to give you any tax hacks. I'm giving you information directly from the source, the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, and its website, which I will give you a description in the box below for the rest of these Dirty Dozen items. But, again, consider the source. If there are accountants, CPAs, lawyers, all kinds of professional service providers out there who are what they call influencers or have social media channels dedicated to communicating tips and tricks and all of that to their audiences. And I don't have a problem with that. That's what my channel is for. I'm not trying to be an influencer per se. I'm just trying to relay educational information to make my clients or potential clients or folks out there looking for legal advice to be better informed consumers of legal information. And in this case, better consumers of accounting/tax information. So beware of false information or misleading information or claiming fraudulent information or hack information on your own personal tax returns, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your numbers. Whether you prepare your tax returns yourself or whether you have a paid preparer do them, you are still the taxpayer with your name and your social security number on those tax forms, on those tax documents, and you are responsible for what gets reported. So, with that said, I don't mean to be, Debbie Downer, but it's just the seriousness of the matter is you always have to be careful and you always have to consider the source of the information you're seeking. So, with that said, as always, I thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.